LSU has dismissed linebacker Donte Starks from the team for a violation of team rules. You might, if you don't remember, a little bit on Starks' background. He was the number 6 inside linebacker in the country coming out of John Ehret in Marrero. He was a late qualifier. It took a while. It was right up against the season when they finally got him eligible academically. Only played in 3 games as a freshman this past season. But when you look at what LSU lost at linebacker, right? Patrick Queen, Jacob Phillips, Michael Divinity, Caleb Von Chasson. Man, it's not a spot where it looked like they could afford to lose depth. But in February, Donte Starks was arrested in Marrero. Police answered a complaint about men apparently with firearms selling crack cocaine. They showed up. Donte Starks fled. He was standing by a vehicle with a few other men. He fled. So he got pegged with a resisting arrest charge and then also had a loaded handgun in his backpack. So they popped him with a concealed weapon charge also. Starks did go onto Instagram after he was initially arrested and then suspended indefinitely, and he wrote, "I know everybody saw or heard the news. I want y'all to know I'm truly sorry for the disappointments, but I can only say I'm still young and have some growing up to do. I can say this is not the end of me. I will get everything together and make it right and be back with my brothers soon." Well, soon apparently won't come soon enough for Donte Starks, as Ed Ogeron announced today that he has been dismissed from the team. If you have a reaction, you can feel free to get it in. You can email Matt at 1045ESPN.com. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona at 1045ESPN or jump in the Bayou Ford Huddle. A couple of things. First things first, Ed Ogeron typically, I shouldn't even say typically, should say that in his time as LSU's head coach, Ed Ogeron has shown leniency. And not only leniency, but the ability to give guys multiple opportunities. If you remember, Arden Key, after the 2016 season, was not with LSU. He left the team and then rejoined for fall camp. Michael Divinity left LSU's football team after he was suspended before the Alabama game and then returned. Ed Ogeron welcomed him back. Justin Thomas was not with LSU last season and was allowed to return. Dare Rosenthal was not enrolled in school, left the team, left school. And now recently you've heard Ed Ogeron talk about Dare being on Zoom meetings and how that he's kind of been a leader and was really a guy that they're excited about playing left tackle. Ed Ingram. Ed Ingram went through a nearly 2-year-long legal battle in his hometown in Texas. And when it was finally cleared, Ed Ogeron welcomed him back. So Ed has shown patience and he's shown leniency and a willingness to give guys multiple opportunities. So I'm not telling you I know anything about the Stark situation and how Ed Ogeron and the program are viewing it, but I also would say, you never say never. I wouldn't speak in absolutes with regards to this because at times we've seen their willingness to show guys leniency and give them multiple opportunities. But for now, you're going to go into 2020 without Donte Starks in that linebacker group. Bo Pelini on LSU 60 on Monday night did talk about the linebackers. Now, this is obviously with Starks still suspended, but here's what Bo, of course, LSU's defensive coordinator, said about his linebackers just this Monday.
I think as they're learning what we're doing, I think they're becoming more excited with it. And, I think they're developing an understanding of how we go about things and what our principles are. And it's a talented group. We lost some good ones, but we got some really good players coming back. And we added another one in Jabril Cox from North Dakota State. He's going to be in that room too. And we have some talented freshmen coming in. So I feel good about our linebacking core.
So it was just on Monday. Even with Starks suspended, that's Bo Pelini saying, I feel good about our linebacking core. And I kind of agree with him because throughout this offseason, as we've talked about LSU's defense and this remade defense, I know every time I've talked about linebacker, I haven't mentioned Donte Starks intentionally because the kid was suspended. And even though you're losing everything you lost, 4 of your top 5 tacklers from a season ago, and among them 3 are linebackers, you're replacing in the middle of your defense both Phillips and Queen with a guy like Jabril Cox, who the last 2 years had 91 and 92 tackles each of the last 2 years, respectively. Damone Clark and Micah Baskerville are both entering their junior seasons. So now in their third year, you would expect them to take a step up. There's 3 starting linebackers for you right there that you feel really good about. Ed Ogeron mentioned earlier this week that Marcel Brooks is moving to stack linebacker. And when you listen to Ed Ogeron talk about Marcel Brooks, Ed Ogeron, unsolicited, he raves about Marcel Brooks.
We have to put him on the field. The guy's a force on the field. He's fast. He can make plays. He's very aggressive. We're going to put him as stack linebacker right now. He's learning it right now. He's doing very well. He's up to 210 pounds. This guy's one of the fastest players on our field and plays defense the way it ought to play. I think he's going to have an excellent year.
So Cox, Clark, Baskerville, Brooks, that's 4 right there. And then remember, you heard Bo Pelini talk about the freshmen coming in. You've got Josh White, and then you got Phillip Webb. I mean, Phillip Webb right now already looks like an SEC linebacker. I mean, he's listed 6'3", 227. I mean, that's a guy who could step on the field today and give you reps. And then the wild card in all of this, let's not forget, is they moved Devontae Lee to linebacker. I mean, they didn't know if he was going to play offense or defense. And when I look at Devontae Lee, that almost, to me, feels like a situation like what happened with Devin White. Devin White came to campus and wanted to try running back. And Les Miles went to him and said, hey, look, man, you could play running back, but you're behind Fournette and Geis and Brissett, and, you ain't going to play. I mean, you could go over there and just watch, or you can play linebacker because, we ain't got nobody over there. And he made a really, really wise decision. And the same may be true for Devontae Lee, moving from offense to defense, to say, I mean, they have Devontae Lee listed right now at 6'1", 233. I mean, he's basically what Jacob Phillips was. I mean, he's bigger than Patrick Queen. I mean, right now, moving from receiver to linebacker. So I guess it's disappointing because Starks is such a good prospect, and you hate it anytime you see a young person meet adversity in their life and to just throw away such an incredible opportunity. I mean, if you're Donte Starks, if you're any player and you have a chance to play at LSU, I mean, you're in a very small percentage of humanity that is talented enough to get a scholarship opportunity to play at a place like LSU and potentially go make millions of dollars in the NFL and create a legacy at LSU. I mean, think about guys like Queen and Phillips and Chasson. They'll come back to Baton Rouge forever and ever and ever and be revered because they were key cogs in LSU's greatest season ever and winning a national championship. So you hate it that Starks threw away an amazing opportunity. You hate to see that for the kid. And, in his Instagram post back in February, he sounded remorseful. He said the right things about, and I admire when people have self-awareness, and especially at a young age, which clearly he did, saying, look, I got some growing up to do. It's not going to be the end of me. I'm going to get back soon. And I hope he does, wherever that may be. But it's not going to be at LSU, certainly not in 2020. And in the meantime, though, I think even with that, you look at 7 different linebackers that Bo Pelini has to choose from in his new 4-3, and I think LSU is going to be just fine there.